On today's episode, we're going to answer the question, who is Trent?
We're back. And so who is Trent? Why don't you start?
Trent is a 25-year-old adult with autism. He's considered nonverbal, although he does say some words. He can make choices if given options. He has no conversational speech. So he's not a type of person who can have those relationships where he has conversations with people, which makes it very difficult. But he does relate to people in our family through the way he loves on people and just the things he likes to do. And he's a joyful person most of the time.
It's different having a relationship with Trent. And it's often a lot one-sided. But there are a lot of things that we admire, we like about Trent, about who he is as a person. And for me personally, there are things like I feel like I care too much about what other people think. And probably that goes back to like being a kid, growing up in the house I grew up in. Mom wanted to make sure that, our socks matched our shirt. That was kind of the big thing, and that seems silly, but like if you dress up, your sock's supposed to match your shirt or your tie. So there were things like that. Mom wanted us to always be kind of put together and concerned about how other people would view us. And so my dad was a pastor, and so we, we're in church all the time and stuff. And so that was a part of it. And one of the things I really like about Trent is that he just doesn't care what you think about what he wears or the things he's doing. He just really is his own person all the time. And just like I don't think there's ever a thought in his head about I wonder what they think of me or how they, there's just none of that. And I really do like that about him and want to be more like him in that regard.
I do think, though, he cares about us being happy. I don't think he wants to upset us. And maybe that's because he doesn't want to feel like he's in trouble.
Yeah.
Maybe, but if there is sadness in our house or anger in our house, he definitely feeds on that. And he knows without even a word being said, and he struggles with those emotions. Even if they're not directed towards him or have anything to do with him, he can sense it. So he's very in tune with nonverbals, which would make sense since language is so difficult for him.
Yeah. So if we're in a particularly stressful time, like when we move or, preparing for a vacation, we're going to be gone for days or something, he does seem to be more on edge. He just picks up on that nonverbal or that emotional kind of stuff.
And Trent is very sweet. He's very sweet. Even when he was little and he would get aggressive often and physically aggressive, he still was extremely sweet when he was regulated, as they would say now.
Oh.
And so people loved him.
I'm extremely sweet when I'm regular, too.
People loved being around him and then were scared to be around him. It was a double-edged sword. But he's always had a sweet demeanor and very loving and affectionate. We've always been very thankful that he's not an autistic person who doesn't want to be touched or can't handle touch. He's always wanted extreme pressure. So he's always loved big hugs, and sometimes it gets a little rough with our noses especially. But he just likes to touch, and I'm not sure that is anything but sensory, but it sure makes you feel like he's very lovable.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes us
Whatever the intention
makes
is.
us feel good. Whether it makes him feel good or not, we don't know. But he like we talk about his drawings. People always ask about like when did he start drawing and has he improved and he's ever had lessons and any of that stuff. And I think all that drawing stuff is really foreign to him. Like I don't think he understands. Like for one, I don't think he understands that not everybody can draw.
I think he does now.
And he knows now.
When he was
he's
little,
learned.
he certainly didn't know.
But you think about a talent that you might have, or that somebody might have a talent to sculpt or to draw or to sing. That there's a huge part of that is tied to approval and praise, and I think that's the side of it that gets people in trouble a lot because you do something well, you begin to get positive feedback and praise for that, and then you want to do it more because you like that feedback, and then pretty soon you can get into places that you didn't really ever intend or want to be. But there's a huge part of doing well at something or excelling at something because of how other people respond to you and how it makes you feel. But I don't think that doesn't affect Trent. Like he doesn't care how other people feel or think about his art. In fact, a lot of the time, and I think this is probably one of the key ways we know this is true, is when we would go to look at something that he had been drawing, it's on the computer or on a page, when somebody would come over to admire and to give him praise for this thing he had drawn, he would immediately erase it or turn the page or not want you to see it.
Yeah.
It's not like he didn't want any recognition or interaction about his drawing. And so, again, we talk about things that we admire. I like the fact that he draws because he likes to draw and he wants to do that. And maybe some people say he needs to do that. But it is not about recognition or praise. He has no pride or ego there. And maybe pride's not the right word, but certainly ego. There's no ego there. He's not in competition with anybody. He does the things that he likes to do.
And when he was little, he drew solely for his own pleasure. Solely. It's only been as he's gotten older that he has been compliant to do drawings for other people. Mm-hmm. And he's kind of gotten used to that now, which is pretty cool. If he were to ever, try to draw things for people, for businesses or whatever, he's getting more compliant about that. And I think that's good because he's not as self-absorbed into it, I guess. Mm. He's expanding his talent and his art and sharing it with people. And we don't know if he understands that there are millions of people who admire his work and love what he does. But we definitely try to share that with him, and not sure it matters to him, which is one of the cool things about him.
Yeah. Again, that ego and pride thing, he doesn't like, I don't think he recognizes or cares. Mm-hmm. And we have gotten recognized out, like we were at dinner last night, having pizza with the family, and another family, the father came by our table and he's like, "Hey, we follow you on on social and watch your drawing videos." Had 3 young kids there with them, and the mom and the whole family was out, and so they came over to the table after they ate, and Trent drew them a picture. So people are like fans of his, but he was compliant. I don't know if I'd say happy to do it, but he was certainly willing to do it and pleasant to do it, and of course they thought it was really cool. What is it, unicorn rainbow or something? Unicorn with a rainbow. With a rainbow. But there was time years ago where that would have been a meltdown, probably.
Right.
Led to it, and so
he's matured over the years.
Yeah, and I think doing the social media things has, and doing the request drawings and being on camera, that has helped to develop him, and so he's gotten better about that. He's gotten more compliant, more at ease with those kind of things. So he is what adjectives would we give? He's a joyful, most of the time. Joyful, and all of us, most of the time.
Observant.
He's observant, very observant.
I think he's caring.
Yeah, he's concerned
Yeah.
when somebody is hurt or there's an issue or
Yes.
something. He doesn't necessarily understand it, but he's concerned. He does not like or appreciate babies or other people crying.
He loves babies.
Loves
but
babies.
If they're crying he's
or
out.
yelling, yeah, he's done. He's done with that. And again, it goes back to just like this is who he is. He's himself all the time. His attitude, his demeanor, his whatever never changes because of other people's expectations or praise or input or whatever. He
Right.
just is himself all the time, and I think all of us could learn a lesson from that. And if we were a little more just who we were,
Be like Trent.
be like Trent. Yeah, he's not mean about it.
No.
He's not spiteful about it. He's not mean about it.
He's
not
kind of matter of fact.
not arrogant. He just is. He's just like, this is who I am, and
Right.
yeah,
No matter who you are.
yeah, doesn't matter. Anyway, does that sum him up?
Yeah, I think so.
I am Trent's older sister, Tristan. We're talking about how I've seen Trent change over the years. Yeah, I feel like I've seen Trent change tremendously over the years. I guess if you think about it like adults, as you find more information, then your opinions and your views change on how you look at life and how you make decisions, maybe. But Trent doesn't have the cognitive ability really to do that. In the same sense that someone like me could or does. But I feel like Trent's personality has been able to come out more over his, I would just say like his adulthood years, I guess. Of course you can see that like as he was younger in like childhood or growing up or adolescence or whatever. But it's just different because then it was like sprinkled with aggression and it was kind of like walking on eggshells sometimes just because you didn't know what was going to set him off. But he has so much more control over himself and his actions now that, I mean, it's, in some ways he's like a totally different person. And now I can kind of tell when I say something that he doesn't really like or doesn't want me to say based on his like reaction to that. And like he used to really only watch like children's TV shows or movies, like animated kids movies. But now like he's into Jurassic World and I mean they normally have animals in them, like we bought a zoo and stuff, but like he still likes that other stuff, don't get me wrong. He still likes children's things, but like he likes adult movies too, which is cool. Yeah, I mean, of course, like he does every once in a while, very rarely, go into aggressive behavior or self-injurious behavior, but it feels like for a while it was like a tunnel, and it was like, when are we going to get out of this constant aggression or like constant walking on eggshells? But I feel like he can live more now. Like he knows what he likes, he knows what he doesn't like. He'll try new things, but like, I don't know, I just really feel like him, like Trent, who Trent is able to like show up more as an adult. And it makes me like wonder what he's gonna be like when he's older. And I'm not gonna cry, so I'm gonna end this now. Thank you.
Hi, Trent.
Hey, Mommy.
It is Giant Panda Bear Day. So you could draw a giant panda bear, but let's give it some emotion. Do you know what emotion is?
Yes.
Like excited, scared,
Excited.
mad,
Excited.
excited. Okay, excited. Giant panda bear. Is that the kind of bear a Kung Fu Panda is?
Yes.
Good job, buddy. Perfect. Give me 5.
Like, share, subscribe, comment, ask us questions. We'll do some of that. And yeah, smash that subscribe button down in the bottom, whatever they say. So join us next time as we talk about,
Getting Trent's diagnosis.
what it was like hearing the word autism.
Okay. Bye.
Goodbye.